If you don't know your worth, the world would not value you. And it's not about proving others what you are and what you're not. It's just about challenging your own spirit every day until you get the purpose of your life.
You are now listening to the Highlight Reel Builder for Authors, the Going North podcast. I'm your host, certified self-leadership trainer and author of the best-selling book, Stay the Course, Dom Brightman. And you're going to be getting some goodies today from the guest that's up next. And today on the Highlight Reel Builder for Authors, known as the Going North podcast, we got another super special, awesome human for you today, folks. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. Because my goodness, thanks to the fabulous humans known as Dr. Mansoor Hasib and Bishaka Jain, we got another wonderful guest. This time, she's all the way from India, indeed, hailing from the tea city, if I'm not mistaken, where they have an abundance of tea leaves and they have an abundance of terrific people. We got one of them here today because she is a mother of two, a blogger, freelance content writer, as well as an entrepreneur. So let's give it up for the RM herself, the radiant and marvelous Rekha Mordani. How you doing today, Rekha?
Yeah, I'm doing good. How are you, Dom?
Doing fabulous, doing fabulous. Happy, I guess Friday your time.
So, thank you for having me here. I'm so glad to get connected with you. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, that's right indeed. That's right indeed. Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you on the show too. That's right. She was so excited. And I'm like, yeah, like her positive energy. It's like no wonder she's a mother of two. She got swiped off the market real fast for a reason.
You got me right.
Hey, husband's a lucky man, just saying. So, my goodness, as with all introductions, they're not allowed to be 55 and a half days long, and I'm pretty sure I forgot some things. So, my filling us in on who is the Radiant Rekha herself.
Oh, actually, I belong to India, the land of culture, color, festivals, and diversities. And the city I live in is surrounded by mesmerizing tea gardens and scenic beauty and natural beauty. And that makes me more poetic. I love reading poetries. I do write some, but mostly I love reading them. So I've always been a girl with a journal and girl with a book, but little did I know that someday this hobby, this interest would transform into my passion. So I strongly believe that our power of passion can propel us into action and bring about a change in our lives. So when I discovered my passion and my powers, I started working dedicatedly on them. And then from being a stay-at-home mom, I became an entrepreneur, a writer, a blogger, and professionally, I started writing from 2017, and I started by being a freelancer or writing a content writer or a blogger. And then I observed that many of my blogs are being widely circulated across the internet. I used to write for some online platforms, and the followers of that platform, they became my readers automatically, and they used to send me some messages personally that we enjoy reading your blog. Why don't you write a book? And that actually ignited a spark in me that I gained a lot of confidence from those messages, and then I considered about writing a book. So in 2019 I started writing a book, and by the middle of 2021, like in June 2021, I got my first book released, and the title of my book is Miles and Fears. So I still feel hesitate to claim myself a writer, because I believe that being a writer is either the easiest thing in the world. You just open a diary or just open a laptop and start writing, or a proposition so difficult that it takes impeccable hard work to become a writer, and I'm still learning and improving. But fortunately, I have been listed in the list of 100 iconic authors of India by Aesthetic Magazine, and I'm so thankful to them. And so far, I have been nominated for 2 awards for my book. So it's been an exciting journey, actually. So far it's been an exciting. All this was actually was not expected because I was a debutant in this field and I was not expecting all this. Whatever I've received so far, I'm receiving decent feedbacks from my readers, and I'm so happy for that. They are they are giving me decent reviews and good reviews, and that is actually building my confidence to write more. So all these things, expected and unexpected, or fortunate or unfortunate, they have molded me in a better person. So today I'm wiser, stronger, more confident, and more prepared to face the challenges of my life. And I strongly believe in hard work. Even if you're born with a silver spoon, you should know how to fill that spoon and feed yourself. So it's very important. Work is a requisite of a worthwhile life. And I gracefully accept whatever life has to offer me. If I sleep with no grudges, no doubts, no complaints, no fears, only with prayers and the happiness of accomplishing the task of that particular day, that day becomes a fulfilling day for me. And even if you look around, you'll find that we are blessed with so many things, natural gifts, be it the morning sunshine or the first showers, spring showers, or the first snow of the winter, or the fragrance of the flower, or the air we breathe in. But we always take all these things so granted that we always look on the other side. Like it is said that grass looks always greener on the other side. So I have made a rule in my life that I won't look on the other side. If the grass of my side is not green, I'll make efforts to make it greener, and the greenest. And I've realized that we humans have potentiality to do all the possibilities and infinite creativity. It's in our hands only. We can do miracles, we can do wonders. Miracles do happen if we just stop demotivating others, keep our ego aside, and focus on our own goals. Then miracles do happen. And for that, our belief system has to be very strong. It's very important thing. We live in a biggest misconception that power comes with money, position, or you know, or materials. But that's not true. That materialistic power ends with the money, with the job, with the title, or we can say as long as those things last. But if our belief system is strong, we start seeing power in pure and natural things. The dreams we see have true power. The enthusiasm we have has true power. Or the goals we set for ourselves, those goals have true power. And the efficiency we put in to achieve those goals, that efficiency has a true power. Our thought process has a true power. Because with all these natural things, we can bring evolution in the world. Money, of course, is necessary. I would be lying if I say that it's not. But it keeps on fluctuating in our lives, and that fluctuation should not affect our humbleness, our kindness, our peace. And that is needed to be learned. And for that, I practice meditation. In India, we have many meditation retreats, and they make us learn like how to control our mind, how to control our wandering thoughts. Initially, when I was asked to do meditation, I was not even able to do it for a minute. I had so many distractions in my mind. So I learned it with time, and it helps you to experience the field of pure awareness and pure serenity. And with regular meditation, you would be able to draw right events and the right people that you want in your life. It works like a magnet to support your desires. So I practice it every day, and in my opinion, everyone should practice meditation for 30 minutes in a day. It helped me a lot. So this is I am. I'm mother of two beautiful sons, and I love spending time with them. And apart from it, I do a business as well. I run a business as well. I deal in handmade organic products, and I started with only two products, and now I'm dealing in 50 plus products. So this is also my growth. So I have worked hard for all these things in past 5 years. I'm continuously working hard for my writing and my business. So this is what I am.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, my goodness, my goodness. So, Mother of Two penned a marvelous book, your first entry into what I like to call the business of immortality last year, and got awarded for it. So, my goodness. So, so out of all the books that you decided to write, I believe this one's actually a novel. So, any particular reason why you chose to write a novel as opposed to one of those nonfiction books or even possibly a book of poetry?
Actually, it's a fiction book. It's a fiction book. My book is the title of my book is Miles and Fears, and it is based on formidable Indian army and their glorious families. So it is actually based on the exodus that happened in Kashmir in 1990. Now I tell you what Kashmir is. Kashmir is a princely state of India, and it falls in the northwest region of India, exactly the Himalayan region of India. If you observe the map of India, you'll find it on the top. So in west, it is bordered by Pakistan. So the problem is there was an armed conflict was fought between India and Pakistan for Kashmir, not only once but for the four times. So it is actually a very sensitive, extremely sensitive area which is terrifically guarded by our Indian army soldiers, and it's a place where frequent border skirmishes or military standoff or terrorist attacks or bombardings or communal riots happen. So it's a very sensitive area, and every year hundreds of um, soldiers attain martyrdom only in Kashmir, let alone the other part of India. So I was talking about the exodus. So exodus also happened in the same place in Kashmir in 1990 when 4 to 5 lakhs of Hindu families were forced to flee Kashmir, and they fled away, leaving their land, their property, everything behind just to save their lives. So the female protagonist, although my book is a fictional book, but it is inspired from the true events. So the female protagonist in my book belongs to one such family, and she has witnessed uh, that that exodus during her childhood, and she has faced all those torments and those terrorism. She's so every time when she witnesses the bloodshed, her fears escalates, and she has lived her entire life in fears. And the male protagonist in my family is a military person who conducts various military operations in the valley. So the book is about how their paths crossed and what they learned from each other, how from being a fearful lady, that the female protagonist, she turned out to be a fearless woman. So this book is about how these terrorist attacks or bombardings or these mass killings, they engrave fears on one's mind and soul for a lifetime, how it damages you mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. And I strongly believe that we should always value our relation to our nation. It's very important because our armed forces, they put their lives on stake to protect it. Oftentimes I hear people saying that they do it because it's their duty. But to those, I would like to say that nobody in the entire world is born with assigned duties. They choose it for you, they do it for you. So value that. We don't have any supreme right to get protected by them, but we have supreme duty towards those who choose to protect us. So, our love, our passion, our concern is limited to our families only. And here I'm not talking about any extended family, just the closed one who live under the same roof. But their love, their compassion, their passion is for the entire nation. Because they consider the entire nation as their family, they keep the nation on the priority. They take the responsibility of the entire nation on their bare shoulders with an enthusiasm even to lay down their lives for us. So I feel proud that my nation is guarded by such heroes, that my life is cared and valued. And that's why I believe that these people deserve huge respect and grand honor and preciousness of the entire universe. See, it's not easy to go on borders, leaving your loved one behind, knowing that you might not return back. With ethos of valor and forthrightness, they always put up a brave face in plethora of challenges and difficulties. And being a civilian, I always, look forward to an exciting Sunday or exciting weekend with my husband or with my family. But I sometimes wonder how doughty and courageous these soldiers' families are, that they uncomplainingly accept their absence even on the prominent days of their lives, be it any festival or be it birthdays or anniversaries, or even when the child is born in their family, the father is not around. And they accept to live like that gracefully. It's not easy, they face a lot of challenges in their daily life. It's not easy to fight typically for the honor and glory of the nation. It's not an easy job. So even when I was promoting my book, I happened to meet a few Fauji families, and when I listened their stories, I felt that these people should come forward and speak about themselves because their stories were absolutely inspirational. They were heart wrenching as well, and each one of them has hundreds of stories to tell you. So that is why I have started conducting a program named Virangna. Virangna means lady warriors, and they where I invite these people and they come forward and they speak about themselves and their stories and inspire the people, the audience. So uh, I think if I can do it, I mean, my objective was just to make people aware of the challenges they face in their day-to-day life. So this is my only objective to write the book. So when I decided to write a book, Indian Army was the first thing that popped in my mind, that I want to write about them only. So this book is absolutely dedicated to them.
Ah, beautiful right there indeed. Beautiful right there indeed. Yeah, and it's definitely something true. Definitely got to honor those who decide to make it their life duty to protect their country because it's a tall order no matter what country you're from. It's definitely a tall order, especially on the families that are involved as well. Because it's like, oh man, do we get to see him? Nope. It's like, no, no, have to be alone. Hopefully they'll be fine. And yeah, it's good that you definitely decide to go that route. So, with being, I guess in a way, honoring those who serve the country and protect and serve, is that the main inspiration for the wonderful fiction book? And do you believe this might become a whole series of books?
Let's see. Let's see. You're not decided yet.
I just want to try to push this one book as far as it can go before thinking of writing another one, I guess.
Yeah, I'm working on my next book, and it's also about freedom fighters, but it's in the middle till now. So I'm just it will take time, maybe a year or so. It will take time.
That's good.
I'm gradually progressing.
Ah, beautiful.
And it's been
Well,
an exciting journey how I became, a working woman, because I was not a working woman. I was a stay-at-home mom, and I think it's a valuable job as well. Being a stay-at-home mom, and it's an unpaid job, an underrated job, but it's very precious job.
oh yeah, definitely. You're so right about that. It's one of the toughest jobs in the world, being a mother, especially if you're teaching your children at home, homeschooling them, and really being the number one teacher and main influence on your children. So, since you're able to publish a book, I'm pretty sure there might be some aspiring writers who may also be busy moms or busy parents. And they're probably wondering, how in the world were you able to get your project done? So, how are you able to balance life between writing and caregiving for your kids, and heck, even also maybe even having fun? Is there a way to, what do you do to really get that done?
Actually, see, it started with, like, I got married when I was just 21. I was only 21 when I got married. So, when my friends were focusing on the careers or their further education, I was focusing on my family life, and my prime concerns were whether each and every corner of my house is free of cobweb, or whether each or every inch of my house is clean. So those were my prime concern at an age of 21. When I turned 23, I became mother for the first time. And then suddenly my child became the center of my universe. I used to will around him all the time, all the time. And then my prime concerns were whether he has eaten well, or whether he slept well, or whether he played well. So those were my prime concerns then. And I don't think it's faulty, because every mother does the same thing. But do you know where we women develop a fault? In the process of grabbing the trophy of the best mother, or the best wife, or the best family person, we forget our value as an individual. I don't know much about other countries, but if I talk about India, then there is a section of women who are professionally successful, and they are doing great in their jobs. They know to balance between their work life, their professional life, and their family life. And then there is a section of women who are stay at home mom, and they are even also happy and content. They spend quality time with their family, they take good care of their children, and even they are happy and content. But then there is a section of women who are stay at home mom, but they wanted to be somewhere else, getting something professionally done, or secretly they dream of a weekend away with the friends, but then come up with an excuses as they why they cannot do it. These women develop a guilt in both cases, guilt of working and guilt of not working. And believe me, I was one amongst them. I was scared to step out and work, because I thought if I'll go out and work, it will make me an imperfect mother. I would not be able to take good care of my children, or would not be able to spend quality time with them. So I was very conscious about working. But then it took 13 years for me to realize that there is no definition of a perfect. We all have unique stories, we all have unique experiences. Everyone has a story, and we all have unique experiences and different past. So we all are learning and improving and growing. So it's okay to be imperfect. So my 4 years old, I didn't realize it when my 4 years old son, I have a younger son as well. When I was 29, I became mother for the second time, and my 4 years old son, I was learning him some lessons, and suddenly two questions appeared: who cooks food for you, and who goes out for work? He promptly answered me, my mama cooks food for me, and my daddy goes out for work. And I said, yes, okay, good, right answer. But then he added, because women do not go out for work and men do not work in the kitchen. And that's where I got flabbergasted. I said, no, it's not like that, baby. Even women can go out for work and men can work in the kitchen. And then he said, I have never seen you or your father brewing even a cup of tea. And I was just surprised to, listen that. And I said, I thought he's right, because he has never seen me going out for work. And then I decided, like, I need to change his thought process. And to change his thought process, I need to be the change. And that was not the first time when I considered about working. I have considered about working earlier many times. But that day, it hit me badly. Like, what, my children, this is a thought process of my child, that women do not go out for work. And if I won't change it now, it will never change ever. So I need to be the change for that. But there's one thing that I always followed, whenever you are upset and frustrated, you do not react to the person or the situation. You have a creative response to the person or the situation, or you can transform it into a better situation. All those problems have a seed of opportunities. You just have to recognize, and you can transform into a better situation. And once you just do it, you have an ability to create something new and beautiful with all those opportunities you have. And every parent will become your teacher. And a reality is an interpretation. If you interpret reality in this way, you can create wonders. And then all those problems and all those events that you see as a problem will become your teachers and the opportunities. Everything that happens in your life has a hidden meaning, and that hidden meaning is serving you your own evolution. So I was frustrated many times, but I never accused anyone for that, because that was my life. And we need to learn the acceptance. And if you go against it, you go against the universe. You need to accept the situation, the people, the events as it is, because the universe is as it is. If you go against them, you go against the universe. So it is very important, to accept it. And I knew it was not anyone else's fault. So I never accused anyone for that. And then I took the responsibility of myself, and I went out and I started working. I discovered my abilities. And that is the one thing that I've learned from my life, that until and unless you won't discover your abilities, your talents, your skills, nobody else will do it on your behalf. If you don't know your worth, the world would not value you. And it's not about proving others what you are and what you're not. It's just about challenging your own spirit every day until you get the purpose of your life. So I worked on myself a lot. After that particular happening, I worked on myself a lot.
That's what I'm talking about, indeed. That's what I'm talking about, indeed. That's right, indeed. Yeah, because definitely a lot of ways of thinking are kind of like in flux right now with the way things are. Like especially that example of your son is like, oh yeah, like mommy, she stays home and cooks. Daddy goes out to work, even though mommy probably works from home. But it's like they're like, ah, we don't believe you. We see you here. We know you're here. And then of course with and heck, even with that, they may choose that as their own realities. Like in their mind, the reality is, oh yeah, mommy's home, she's fabulous, she's making us meals and playing with us and taking care of us. When the reality is that hey, you're actually doing some wonderful work from home and going out to work and still actually making sure you stay active. So you're definitely right. Like, hey, reality is definitely what we choose for it to be. Choose to make that a reality, what you want it to be indeed. So, my goodness. So, since you're starting to get on these podcasts, is there a question in particular that you wish more hosts would ask you when you're on these podcasts?
Yes, the lessons that I've learned from my life. You may ask me that question.
Ah, sweet. Sweet. I'll even take that to another level. So, since you got this wonderful book out, and I'm pretty sure there have been some setbacks along the way, is there any particular big failure that you may have had in life that actually ended up being a big win for you?
Yes, actually. I have understood the concept that whatever happens in my life is the result of the choices that I've made in the past. So I absolutely relinquished, you know, uh, but the problem is, we all make choices unconsciously. We are not aware of that we are making these choices, and that's why we always keep on complaining that why is it happening with me? Why this happened with me? Why that happened with me? But actually, we are making all these choices unconsciously. For example, like if I if I were to if I insult you, if I were to insult you, you would most likely make a choice of being offended. Or if I were to praise you, you would most likely make a choice of being flattered. And see, they are still the choices. I could offend you. You can still make a choice of not being offended. I can praise you. You can still make a choice of not being flattered either. So actually, you know, despite being infinite choice makers, we all have become the burdens of conditioned reflexes that are being constantly triggered by the people and the situation into predictable outcomes of behavior. And these conditioned reflexes are have automated reply to the stimuli of in our environment. So you know uh, we have predictable responses, predictable automated responses. And we are not aware that all these are the choices that we are making in every moment of our existence. If we just pause for a moment and think about it, that these are the choices that we are making, then we can take the entire process of choice making from the unconscious realm to the conscious realm. And that conscious choice making process is very empowering. So there is one thing that I have learned, that these are the choices. Whatever I'm doing in my life is my choice. And earlier I was not aware of that, but now whenever I make a choice, I ask myself, what would be the consequences of this choice, or whether this is my decision, and whether the consequences of this choice making would bring happiness to me or the people around me. And then suddenly I get the answer, from my heart. And that is what we call the spontaneous right action. That spontaneous right action is the spontaneous right decision, is the right decision at the right time that happens. And deep in your heart, you know your answer. So I don't blame anyone for whatever happened in my life. That is the one thing. And second thing that I have learned is that I would like to share with all of you. Like, our our awareness is established in defenselessness. I completely relinquish the need to defend my point of view. If you look around, you'll find the people spend 99% of their time in defending their point of views. you know eh, and if you just relinquish the need of defending your point of view, in that relinquishment you will gain access, you will gain excess amount of energy that have been previously wasted. When you become defensive or blame others, or attract resistance, so it is of no use. Whenever you encounter resistance, remember one thing: if you encounter resistance and force a situation, the resistance will only increase. So when you have no point to defend, or you do not give birth to an argument. And when you do not give birth to an argument, you enjoy the present moment. So someone told me that, past is a history and present is a mystery, and present oh sorry past is a mystery, future is a mystery, and present is a gift. And that is why it's a present. So once you become merged with the present, you enjoy the moment, you become one with it. A fire, a glow, ecstasy would be born within you. And then you will drop the terrible burdens and encumbrances of the defensiveness or resentness or hurtfulness. And then you will enjoy the moment. You'll become carefree, you'll become more joyous or free. And that is all the life is all about. You don't want to stay rigid, you know you want to stay flexible to all points of view. So always defend, always desist from defending your point of view. It's very important thing.
Sounds good indeed. It's right, defending that point of view indeed. It's right indeed. It's right indeed. So my goodness, so speaking of point of view, a fun question I've been loving to ask, yes, and that is, if your wonderful book, Miles and Fears, if it was a food, what would it be and why?
If it was a food, then it would be an Indian platter, because we serve everything in that platter. We serve mixed vegetables, we serve salad in that, we add rice or chapatis or yogurt in that, everything. We add sweet in that also. So it is a blend of spices and different taste. So my book is like that only. It has love, it has compassion, it has the feeling of patriotism or companionship. It is a blend of emotion. So definitely it would be an Indian platter. It has everything in it. So it would be an Indian platter only.
There we go. Sweet and spicy indeed. That's right. Indian platter, y'all. That's right. That's right. The real IP address y'all need. Indian platter. Let me stop.
Funny.
That's right, indeed. Keeping it corny, indeed. So we're coming down to the question that every guest gets to receive, and that is if you were to wake up tomorrow and you're 25 again, but you're in 2022 and you have all your knowledge and experience, what advice would you give to?
I'm going to have a huge conflict with my husband after this session because after listening this answer, uh, it would definitely be early marriage is not a good idea. It's not like that. I have a wonderful husband. I have a wonderful family. But the thing is, like 20s is the age of, building careers and implementing those, your ideas or the formulas that you have learned in the school. It is the age of implementing all those formulas. You're building career. It's not the age of focusing on family life. So, this would be the only suggestion or only advice I would give to myself, that don't marry early. It's not the right thing to do. Although, it's very important for women to be financially independent first. No matter how much your father is earning or how much your husband is earning, how much your brother is earning, but it's very important for not only for women, for every individual to be financially independent. It's very important thing, and it gives you a kind of confidence. It makes you a decision maker. So it's very important to be a financially independent, and second, to be a decision maker so that you can take decisions of your life, on your own. It's very important thing. So that would be an advice I would give to myself. If you're asking just about me.
Uh, yeah, yeah. Yep, that's the thing. It's like, especially nowadays where there's a lot more options out there to explore and quote unquote experiment. And it's definitely understandable. It's like early marriage. It's like I mean the good part about it is once you get in your 40s, you're still stunning and your kids are grown and it's like, hey, I could explore as opposed to the folks who waited a little later and they're like, oh, my kids have to they're still there. They're still in their like tweens or whatever, and then you're like, "Oh, I still got this energy. I'm in my 40s. I'm still fabulous." So yeah, yes, it's definitely, nonetheless, enjoy life. Enjoy life indeed. And folks need to enjoy life by picking up some copies of your book and keeping up with your journey. So if folks want to do just that, what's the best way for folks to do so?
Okay, yeah. They can catch me through. I'm on all social media platforms. I'm available on LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter or on social media platforms, and my book is available on Amazon, on Flipkart, on Snapdeal, on eBay, Google Books. So it is available everywhere in the Kindle version and in paperback as well. So they can just buy a copy, and it would be a huge honor to me or to my book as well. So just read and enjoy reading. It's a good book. It's a light book, so everyone can read it.
Oh, yeah. There you go, folks. That's right. That's right. Follow the Radiant Rekka on LinkedIn, y'all. That's right, indeed. And buy some copies of her book and share it with folks that would enjoy some good reading as well. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. So, any parting words before we stop the recording?
Yes, of course. Like what my book is even based on the same thing. Like, and this would be my advice to all those people, that our planet is the only planet that has life. And if we are blessed with so many amenities by our creator, then why should we destroy our existence for the sake of materialistic things? These borders were not created by the creator. We have drawn it. So now, and we are constantly fighting for the borders and territories and resources and powers and innocent, there's innocent lives are being destroyed, and the wars have devastated the biggest of the biggest kingdoms. And the question is still there. Question mark is still there. Why? So even a little contribution can bring a change. Then we should contribute it. We should step spread positiveness or spread awareness, stop fighting in the name of God and the religion or the borders. So we all should know our duties first and then claim your rights. It's very important thing, and everyone should understand. It's not just about India. I'm talking about all the countries, that one should know your duties first and then claim your rights. Unfurling flags on the particular dates, on the Independence Day or the Republic Day, does not make you a true or good citizen. You have many responsibilities, not only towards your country but towards the entire planet. Even planting a tree is your duty. That can bring a change. Keeping your environment clean, your surroundings clean, is your duty. That can bring a change. So all these little things can bring a change and make this world a better place to live in. So just know your duties first and keep reading my books.
Thanks a bunch for sharing some of your time out of your day to listen to the Going North podcast. I would be really honored if you head over to the website goingnorthpodcast.com and share this episode with someone that you care about. And also, for bonus points, if you like, click on the shop tab on the website and grab some gear, advance others to advance yourself if you haven't already. Have a great rest of your day and keep advancing north to your greatness.